That's awesome. Good evening, everyone. I'm P. Shravan Kumar, the founder and CEO of SK Associates and Group, an ex-analyst at Citigroup and JP Morgan, the leading Wall Street banks of New York Street Exchange, and a former associate solicitor at the Supreme Court of India and the Karnataka High Court. I'm your host for today's conference 1.1, Evolving Role of Women Entrepreneurs in the Global Economic Growth. I would like to welcome you all once again on our conference series SKA and G conference series being hosted from the last July 2021. SK Associates and Group is an ISO certified internationally accredited management consulting firm registered under MSMED Act 2006 with the Government of India. We provide consulting services in the domain of compliance, operations, marketing, research and development, human capital, strategy, and operations to budding student entrepreneurs across the nation. SK Associates and Group was formed with the dream to provide consulting services to budding student entrepreneurs across the world and help them in developing the national economy and the global economy by establishing their dream firms in various industries and across various sectors. We basically work with startups and train potential student entrepreneurs who are aiming to bring a significant change either in their business model, in the scale of operations, or both. To succeed in this endeavor, however, our clients need a specific type of consultant, someone who is a problem solver. Typically, such a person is entrepreneurial and passionate, thinks out of the box, has an idea where the problem lies, how to analyze it, and definitely what would serve as a perfect solution for that particular problem. Such people have lived and worked in different countries and continents. They have worked on exciting projects, they have taken risks, and have scars to show for it. We call such people transformational consultants. We have worked over the last 3 years to build a network of such people, reaching out to them across industries, professional gamut of functional roles, universities, to help them come together with us on a common platform and help us in building a generation of iconic organizations in the corporate sector. Our mission is to mentor 3 lakh students across India by 2026 by providing them with consulting services in strategy and operations, human capital, compliance, legal advisory, research and development, taxation, marketing, and help them in establishing their ventures by investing 20 crores US dollars in their startups over the next 5 years. We also aim to provide 50,000 employment opportunities to various lecturers across the nation in the upcoming 5 years. We strongly believe that strategic alliance and collaboration shall help us achieve our vision in working for the cause of global economic growth. Our executive management and operations teams are always dedicated on working towards entrepreneurship development and community impact with a concentration on the point. Students are the upcoming future generations of our nation and need to be empowered for global economic growth. To know more about us, visit our website at www.skngroup.com. Now, I would actually like to thank all our stakeholders, including multiple chartered accountants, company secretaries from different chapters of ICA and ICSI, and various advocates from different bar councils as well as SCBA for continuously supporting us for the last 1 year from when we're not actually a firm and we're a group of overexcited kids to a stage today where we have developed and have a global reach into approximately 3,000 consultants across this globe from various nations and also from various communities and industries, bringing in their experiences and their passion for the respective sectors to mentor young entrepreneurs here. I'd also like to thank every university kid who has contributed to our firm by their internship, their freelance roles, or whatever they have contributed to our firm by various opportunities that we provided them. And we are thankful for each of your contributions as they have helped us in growing and becoming a startup that could scale the entire world. I'd also like to thank multiple of our associates, including Mr. Digvijay Pawar, Head of Business Development and Growth, Advocate Riddhi Bhanushali, Chief Strategic Alliance Advisor for the team, Ms. Vaishali Shri, Head of Human Resources, and multiple other HRs, Ms. Aditi Jain, Ms. Prashasti Pankaj, Ms. Unnati Keshri, Ms. Riya Bose, Ms. Preeti Kumari, and Strategic Alliance team especially because your contributions have always helped us in growing over the past 1 year. Today, as we successfully come over a stage where we complete around 1 year of staying in the market We are really thankful for each of your contributions and the way it has helped us heal throughout the past 1 year. Now, we would like to start with Conference 1.1 on emerging and evolving role of women entrepreneurs in the global economic growth to help empower entrepreneurship a bit more with our conference. I'm going to start my startup, so I want to know the cause I should work for. Was my startup going to create a change in this world? This is a very popular question every first time founder, entrepreneur generally has when she's starting up and approaches my consultants or any other consulting firms. Prior to becoming an entrepreneur, men might face a bit less challenges, but women definitely really doubt if their startup ideas would contribute to this world in any manner, if they would gain the support from their personal and professional circles to start with their startup, to give shape to their ideology, to execute their plans, and definitely scale the world and develop their career in the usual way that any man does. This results in a search for multiple co-founders or consultants from various backgrounds, and even sometimes they are not able to achieve their dreams successfully because of multiple financial issues or personal risks. So today we are hosting this conference on evolving role of women entrepreneurs in the global economic growth to help multiple women from this world discover that they have an entrepreneur within them, which can actually make impact on the society and the community by contributing to it in the long run. This conference is being executed with the vision to help them understand the impact of their decisions, their entrepreneurial dreams, as well as devise strategy and execute their plans properly. In answer to all such questions of budding women entrepreneurs who wish to emerge as entrepreneurs, we have organized Conference 1.1, where we have invited multiple speakers from various gamut of roles, such as the business sector, the training sectors, the auditing sector, the financial management sector, and the education management industry especially. Now, I would like to introduce all our honorable guests for today, one by one. I hope I am audible, Digvijay. Awesome. Firstly, I would like to introduce Dr. Maria Priya Rajesh, who has the outstanding combination of expertise in computer engineering and management skills with a bachelor's degree in information technology and MBA in business administration with a specialization of human resources. She has also completed her doctorate, PhD in the field of management and has been in the teaching profession for the last 9 years. She has presented and published research articles in various national and international conferences and journals, having published around 20 research articles and Scopus indexed journals and presented over 10 papers in national and international journals. She has been resource person for FDPs and guest lecturer in multiple colleges on key management areas. She is the peer reviewer of ASTEG, Advances in Science, Technology and Engineering System, and the head of department for St. Francis de Sales School of Management. Our next guest is Dr. Nalli Ramya, who is an ornitholaryngologist and head and neck surgeon from JIPMER, the third best medical college in India, ranked 56th top college in the world. Currently, she is the founder and CEO of Ramcos Cosmetics, which is purely based on organic or vegan or eco-friendly strategies. Dr. Ramya is an author of a dual award-winning book, The Broken Pendant, and the national president for WICCI Organic Foods and Products. She's also the international director for Women Empowerment, CMAI Asia. Dr. Ramya is a motivational speaker for multiple national and international forums by passion. We are also pleased to have Ms. Bhavna Bharadwaj, who is an assistant professor in law at Karnavati University. She is pursuing her PhD from Kurukshetra University and is having more than 3 years of experience in teaching. She is a UGC NET qualified candidate and associated with District Legal Services Authority, Panipat, for delivering lecture. She delivers several webinars on different law subjects organized by District Legal Services Authorities, Panipat, Air Law Academy and Research Center, AirMeet, and many others. She has been awarded the Silver Medal for standing in merit in Masters of Law, LLM, with a specialization in the field of constitutional law and administrative law. She has also done her diploma in intellectual property rights and has published various research papers in renowned national or international journals. We also have Ms. Aparna Singh, who is an assistant professor at the School of Law, Mahindra University. She is pursuing her PhD in the domain of constitutional law. Ms. Singh has worked as an assistant professor of law at United World School of Law, Karnataka University, Gandhinagar. During her master's, her focus areas were constitutional and administrative law. Apart from work, she also contributes as an editor and writer for diverse journals of review. She has presented papers on various prestigious universities like Texas A&M, Barry University, and others. She has also published several research papers to her name in the areas of personal law, constitutional law, and women's law, and others. Now, I would like to request all the guests and attendees to kindly switch on your respective webcams during the entire conference. I would also like to inform all of you that Ms. Vaishali, Shri and T are conducting polls in the chat box throughout the session. Kindly participate in them actively. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Maria Priya Rajesh, Professor and Head of Department at St. Francis de Sales B School, to commence her speech.
A very good evening to all of you gathered here. Thank you, Shravan, for the wonderful introduction that you have given about me. I'm elated and I'm honored to be a part of this conference on evolving role of women entrepreneurs in the global economic growth. So I take pride in being a woman, and I'm very happy to share the stage with many other beautiful women who will be joining and will be representing in different fields of entrepreneurship. So today, since I'm starting the conference with my presentation is about the introduction of the economy and how women contribute to the economic growth at large. So I will just share my screen. I hope my screen is visible. Yeah, thank you. So I'm Dr. Maria Priya, and I'm the head of the department of SFS School of Management in Bangalore. So I'm going to present the topic, the topic that is given to me, okay? And I'm just going to give the introduction about the facts and figures about women empowerment. And the second part of the topic would cover women in India's economic growth. How does women contribute to India's economic growth, and how far is India in gender parity? So these are the three topics that I have chosen in order to introduce women empowerment and also the role of women in economic growth. So talking about feminism isn't about talking or making women stronger, because I feel women are already strong. Okay, it's about changing the world, the way the world perceives that strength. So each woman, when you ask them, they are strong in different areas. Not physically, I'm not talking about the physical strength, but of course the mental strength. Every woman is strong enough, and they are focused nowadays, and they can do eventually better than anyone. Okay, so feminism is just not talking about women empowerment or making them even more stronger. It is just to make others understand that women are already strong. So the facts and figures that I would like to present in the world of work and the women participation. So I'm delighted here to be to have this opportunity to share the thoughts on a very important topic on how India can accelerate its growth through encouraging greater economic participation by women. So an impressive of almost 133 million of Indians rose out of poverty between 1994 and 2012, with an achievement that India and the world can be proud of. It is, of course, worthy to be celebrated. The success could have been even more dramatic if a greater number of women could contribute to the workforce. So the urbanization had started, and it has not even encouraged more women to join the labor force. So rural jobs have been decreasing, and not enough rural women have been able to make the transition to working in urban areas. This makes the need for a greater public safety. Safe transport has to be significant, and the gap is particularly large. So we have to close down on the gap so that we can actually encourage greater economic participation by women. So going to the facts and figures, 2.7 billion. The gender differences in laws affect both developing and developed economies and women in all regions. So globally, if you take, over 2.7 billion women are legally restricted from having the same choice of jobs as men. Of 189 economies assessed in 2018, almost 104 economies still have the laws preventing women from working in specific jobs. So 59 economies have no laws at all for sexual harassment in the workplace, and in 18 economies, husbands can legally prevent their wives from working. So this is the first fact that I wanted to give before you in that 2.7 billion of women. And the second one, which talks about 63%. So the 63%, women remain less likely to participate in the labor market than men around the world. So all these facts and figures talk about global these are all facts and figures which talk about international and global arena. So it's not restricted towards a particular country. So it has been, I have researched and I have taken these from proper sources, and I'm presenting it before you. So almost 63% of women are, compared to 94% of men, who are in the age between 25 to 54. Yeah, so it is the 63% is around the age group of 25 to 54. Here, the participation of women or women in global workforce is very, very low. So it is almost like 26.5% below men. Okay, so this is a representation that women are there in the workforce. And then women are also overrepresented in informal and vulnerable employment. That is what I wanted to say, because women are more than twice as likely than to be contributing to as family workers. So from the latest available data, it shows that in developing countries, especially 4.6% points goes to men, while when it comes to agricultural work and everything, but almost 70% of women are employed in household, taking care of the family, taking care of the children. So that is the vulnerable employment, that informal vulnerable employment that women are pushed into. And globally, women are more likely to be unemployed than men. And they are also paid less than men. So almost 23% globally. The gender wage gap is estimated to be 23%. That's really high. So this means that women earn 77% of what men earn. Okay. So these figures understate that the real extent of gender pay gap, particularly in developing countries where the informal self-employment is prevalent. Women also face the motherhood wage penalty, which increases as the number of children a woman has to bear. So women bear disproportionate responsibility for unpaid care and domestic work, women tend to spend around 2.5 times more time on unpaid care and domestic work than men. The amount of time that is devoted to this unpaid care work is negatively correlated with the female labor workforce participation. So women are still less likely to access to social protection also. So all these facts and figures will help us to understand what are the different areas where women are still forced to be indoors, and there are, by law, there are so many restrictions that the women has to face, especially in developing countries. So these are some of the facts and figures in the world of work where women are participating. So the next part of the topic that I would like to discuss is the women in India's economic growth. So we are just going to talk about India and how India progresses, or how India represents women in participating in its economic growth. So India ranks around 120 among the 131 countries in female labor force participation rates, and the rates of gender-based violence remain very high. Okay, so it's hard to develop in an inclusive and sustainable way that half of the population is not fully participating in the economy. So almost at 17% of GDP, the economic contribution of Indian women is less than half of the global average. So we are falling very short. That is, it is almost below the average, and it is almost below, that is almost 17%. So it's very, very unfavorable, and it compares to almost 40% in China. China is doing a little bit better. And India could boost its growth by 1.5 percentage points to 9% per year if only 50% of women could join the workforce. So we are still focusing on that, and we have to improve really. So this is not to say that India has not had any success in the past. Some young women are staying in school longer, and others are choosing to leave to work as circumstances change, incomes rise. But India must turn the tide, and it should realize its development potential. So valuing girls and women is a critical factor in making societies more prosperous. And in my experience of working, I feel that women's economic empowerment is highly connected with poverty reduction, as women also tend to invest more of their earnings in their children and their communities. So all these things are very, very important. And the 17% of GDP, as I told you, the economic contribution of Indian women is very, very less than half of the global average, which is a serious concern that India has. And almost 40% is China has. So we have to at least compare ourselves with the neighboring countries and try to protect or legally have certain social protection which favors women into workforce, and their contribution towards economic development is very, very crucial for India. So almost 20 million women had dropped out of workforce between 2005 and 2012. They are not able to reach to a level in their career. They had to have a number of career breaks due to family pressure or due to childbirth. They are not able to focus continuously as men in their career. And that's why there is very less representation when you take at the top levels of management, any top level. The percentage of women who rose up to that level is almost it's almost in the single digit. So the career breaks that the women take because of the family pressure, because of the societal demands, also has contributed to the drop in the economic growth and women participation in the economic growth of India. There should be some broader mindset in the families. It starts with the family, and the social norms around marriage, work, household duties have to be shared, or it has to be taken. Okay, it should not be forced fully on women, and it is a part of everyone's work. And the nature or the notion with which we treat women in the social norms of marriage or working at home, or in fulfilling the household duties or taking care of children, everything should change. Okay, and it is changing. I'm not telling it's not changing. It is changing, but we have to have greater impact so that more women can participate in this economic growth. So the gender parity that's the third part of the topic that I have to discuss, is there are many the gender equality in work. So it compares women's and men's ability to find employment. And even after finding employment, there is a parity when it comes to payment of wages. So that payment of wages is also not equitably given. The skills and opportunity to perform in high productivity jobs and occupy leadership positions is not so very easy for a woman. So it's almost 59%. So gender equality in work is 59%. The next thing talks about the essential services. So it compares women's and men's access to healthcare, education, financial, and digital services, which are vital for the economic participation. So in essential services, if you see what is the participation of women, it's a little bit high, 75%, where we are able to contribute towards the essential services. Legal protection, it's 40%. It compares women's and men's legal rights to self-determination, including the right to work, access in institutions, inherit assets, and have the opportunity to participate in political life. So it is almost 40% lesser than the average. And physical security, it assesses about the women's safety and bodily harm, including from the gender-based violence and child marriage. So all these gender parities also have a major contribution, which makes women tied up to very confronted, and it confronts the women, and it pulls back them to not to contribute much to boost India's economy. So there are many examples and indications that the government is acting and it is trying to turn the trend around. Some promising signs are the government's program for skills development, subsidized loan facilities for business led by women, and the recent legislation which talks about doubling the maternity leave and requiring childcare facilities in companies that employ more than 50 people. So if it is implemented and respected, these policies could remove some of the barriers women face and offer a significant boost to India's economy. So as examples and anecdotes show, the success will hinge on the collaboration between the stakeholders, ranging from the government ministries to education providers to public sector, especially private sector employees, down of the actions to each one of us. So Indian women themselves will have to play a very key role in claiming a space for themselves in India's workforce, and they have to join in order to contribute towards the Indian economy. So always we see that the main breadwinners of the family are men. So many girls are now helping family members with education and other expenses. They wanted to change their life and live it differently. So that is also encouraging. And Indian women themselves, they have to play a key role in claiming their space. That is what I would say. And we should always pledge together in order to increase women's participation in the workforce. So and realize that higher level of growth and development for India can be made possible by including women towards the economic growth of the nation, and also to have a sustainable development. So global GDP also can increase by closing the gaps between women and men in the workforce, which could benefit both the advanced as well as the developing countries. And without full parity, countries can increase their economic growth by matching the rate of progress for their region's fastest improving space. So this is what I wanted to contribute. I hope it was useful, and thank you for the opportunity.
That was an amazing speech, Dr. Maria. Actually, the speech was quite informative to the graphs, especially which are PPT or like displays. However, I have one or two questions from you. As you said in the last, that to like decrease these gaps between gender parity, women are actually stepping out and are actively participating in all kind of jobs and activities with men. However, we do see that there is a like difference in pay scale when it comes to paying out women. So what would be your perspective on that in regards of HR professional definitely?
Yes. So I feel that women have to be strong enough to demand for the work that they do. We have to be confident enough to project our skills, and we are skillful actually. So there is always a general notion that when comparatively that men can do better, they are more skilled, they may have the equal degree or from the same university, but we see all the marks that we get, women always get the highest scores. But when it comes to skill-based industry, always there is a disparity when it comes to gender. So women have to expose themselves, they have to shell out, and they have to be confident, and they have to have confidence in their skills and abilities. And that's how we can close down this gap. That is what I feel. And companies also should recognize women that they are strong enough and they should be treated equally to men. So that is the HR policy that would improve the gender parity, that is the closing of the gap and everything. So that is my, humble suggestion, I would say.
That's actually perfect, Dr. Maria. But however, as far as my knowledge goes, multiple researchers have found out that women are more prone to, like changing jobs very frequently due to the family conditions, or maybe sometimes they do changes because of matrimonial issues, or they might have kids, and these might result in the job changes. So due to this employee retention issue, many HR professionals do prefer to have males on their team rather than females. What's your opinion on that exactly?
Yeah, so women have the we need a setup whenever I feel when I want to step out to work. I wanted a safe job where I can return home on time and I have household jobs. I cannot, even though I have my maid at home, my presence is making a difference at home. So that cannot be neglected. But men can go out, they can travel, they can stay wherever they are, and they can do their job peacefully. Women are multitaskers, and they when they are, and I would say that women can be a loyal employee to a company, more loyal employee. When we talk about loyalty, I think women can be more loyal to a company because they don't change the job so very easily once they are fixed. And when they start loving the job, I don't think they would change their job very often, just like men. So I feel that these are some of the things in the mindset. And if family support is there, Shravan, I think many women would be out, and they are really skillful. And family support is very much required for every woman. who has the skill and ability to shine out.
That's actually a valid point, Maria. Family support actually does matter a lot for women, especially. But again, coming back, when like we see women stepping up into industries, the only industry that we have seen women like being present in authority is the education management industry also, where you are working. Apart from that, when we come to the entrepreneurship sector, business sector, there are a very few women as compared to men. How could that perception especially be changed?
Maybe the again, I would say family support and the trust and confidence that we have on women, and also the risk-taking ability, okay, that every woman should have, whether it may be a very small business or a very great investment that you're trying to make, you should be confident enough in taking that risk. So not many people, they wanted to be cozy enough in their own shelter. If you're earning a decent income and you're contributing maybe to your family, we limit ourselves to that extent. We don't go beyond that to think beyond it. Why I am safe, so why should I take that extra step in order to start a business or run a business of my own? It involves a lot of risk, and whether it would become a failure. All these are irrespective of gender. Everyone will have this, and it's mainly women. Maybe they limit themselves to a constrained environment. That's why the participation is not much there. And again, family support also is very much needed. And I also feel that women do not explore the new ways into employment, and they feel that they can limit themselves. This is enough, okay, for me. Because I have a family back there. Though we talk about social norms and everything, inside every woman, we always think about the family more than men. So if a child is not well at home, it is always the duty of the mother to take off and take care of the child. We never expect a man to apply for leave and take care. So this is a social norm, and every woman has that in their mind, and they are conscious about it, always conscious about it, or it is little more, they are conscious about that, which makes them maybe not shell out and come out of that constraint of exploring themselves or trying their hand in starting a new business or a new venture. So these are some of the things even I feel I have certain skills and abilities. Even I have certain business ideas, but I am not able to put it into action because of several things that come up to my mind, and whether I should really do it. So I think that would be the major thing that is restricting women and their participation in entrepreneurship.
That's a valid point too, exactly. Family responsibilities do come on women, so they prioritize them. Anyway, I would like to thank Dr. Maria Priya Rajesh for his amazing speech, and now I would like to invite the attendees to ask her any questions. Put forward your questions simply by unmuting yourself if you've got any. Amulya, Anjunegi, Achal, Duya.
I have a question.
Yes, Amulya, yes.
First of all, good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah, very good evening.
Good evening. Ma'am, how can those women who belong to the unregulated sector, those who are not recognized for the work they do, be protected from the exploitative tendencies of the market?
There has been legally we have been growing, and many developing countries have been transforming, or they have been changing their laws, modifying the laws towards the interest of women, so that women can participate more into the workforce. So I feel still we have to grow, but we have been growing over the past 9 to 10 years. There has been legal transformations and social security towards women. The sexual harassment laws have been strengthened over the past few years. So I feel that we have to go a long way in this. I'm not telling that nothing is happening against women, but there are things which are improving. That is what I would say. And the developing countries are really taking steps forward in order to increase the women participation in their country, because in a country, when we talk about economy, it is both the genders that they have to contribute. So when they close down this gap, as I said in my conclusion, women and men have to close the gap between their contribution towards economic growth. So women's participation is very much needed at the moment, and that's how we can focus on a better economic growth. So I hope I answered it, Amulya.
Yes, ma'am.
That's awesome. Anyone else has got any queries?
Yeah, hello, very good evening, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, so ma'am, my query is like, what are the way we should implement, and what are the process we should implement in India so that women can also enhance or engage towards economy and towards workforce?
So there should be a good social protection, and the HR policies of the companies have to be women friendly. That is what I would say. I would suggest every company which needs women to work into, women to step into their company, there should be some women friendly HR policies to take care of women and provide them the necessary social protection. And there should not be any division or parity based on gender, and strong enforcement of laws should be there. There should be some encouragement that is given from the company side also to increase their participation. So these are some of the things that we can, the HR policies can be reframed, which can be women friendly, and this will invite more women, skilled women, into the workforce of India in different sectors, especially service, or it can be manufacturing, production, any sector. There should be some women-friendly laws and women-friendly policies in the HR. So that is what I feel.
That's a perfect answer, actually. Anyone else? Any questions out there? Anshul, Anju, Achal? Have you got another question, Mr. Osama?
Yeah, like I do understand what ma'am is explaining, but my point is that like women are much more loyal as compared to men, and many other things, like they are much more productive than men. But still, like we are saying that as per the report, but still we are lacking in. It's still women are lacking in the job roles. Why so? Like it's still there at 17% only, or less than that, and also in a single digit yet, because we are in a 2022. So like why they are like it's still changing, not drastically, it's slowing, it's like very slowly.
Yes, so Azhar, so there are several things which, as I told you, when I mentioned about the career breaks that a women take. See, when a man marries a woman, I don't think he takes any break from his career. He just continues his career. But when a woman has to marry a men, and she has to travel, or she has to migrate from one place to another, and she has to resign her job, she has to go there and stay along with the man, make a family. And then again, when it comes to childbirth, or when it is a first one or a second one, or how many you have in the family, and in terms of maternity leave, there is a career break. And then again, when some ailments come, medical or if elderly care, if you have someone who's at home that you have to take care, it is women's responsibility. That's the social norm that we follow. There are so many career gaps that can happen. And that's why the representation of women, when we take about this Fortune 500 companies, only 5% of women CEOs are there. Only 5%. It's because of they cannot have a continuous career path. They have to take multiple career breaks. As I told, the social norms are like that. The women tend to have all these breaks. And when they come back, okay, when you take a 6-month break and when you come back, you cannot get an immediate hike, you cannot get an immediate promotion. You have to fight that gap which you have lost in your career. Maybe there is so much of updation that can happen in your thing, and you have to again unlearn, relearn, okay, everything and match or compete to a man. Okay, so that's very difficult. So that's why there is a huge challenge, that every woman has to undergo when you want to go up the career ladder. And it is not so very possible for every woman. And the stress, the pressure, as we go up the ladder, it's very, very high. And many people couldn't make up for that pressure and stress. So they either leave their job or either they settle at the place where they are and they don't even try to give a try to the top management level. So that's why we have very less participation of women CEOs, and sad to say that only 5% of Fortune 500 CEOs are women. So that is the thing that we have, and these are some of the reasons why women representation is very, very less at the top level.
That is actually an amazing answer to the problem, Mario. I would like to thank Dr. Maria Priya Rajesh for her fabulous speech. And now I would like to proceed by inviting Dr. Nalli Ramya, founder and CEO of Ramicos Cosmetics, to commence her speech.
Ariel, thank you, ma'am, for such a valuable answer.
Thank you all.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yeah, voice is clear.
Yeah. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity, everyone. And this is really a good topic to talk about today, because all ladies out here are really intellectuals who have experienced a lot in their life and came up with a strong goal of each the different perspective and doing their high level of things in the society. So my today's topic is that it's a wonderful topic, but everyone knows the answer that women lack in entrepreneurship. There is a final answer that we are had, lack in entrepreneurship. And it is true that women make about 13.76% of entrepreneurs in India and 20% of MSMEs in India. Means like 20% means remaining 80% is men. So that is really a very, very low in these recent years of these 6 years. And women owners are expected in 2030 that 150 million to 170 million jobs in India by the women. And comparatively, you may think that it is very much more. No. Compared to various other countries, it is comparatively very less. And the answer is that women entrepreneurs are decreasing day by day. And unfortunately, due to the pandemic effect, the entrepreneurship has further more affected the women entrepreneurs. It's not only the women, but also the men. So the female labor force participation ratio is compared to very less, that it has fallen to 17.5. That is 2017 to 2018. There was an analysis done and it was fallen to 17.5. Means in that way also we are lagging behind. And in this condition now, in present scenario, out of 100 entrepreneurs we take, only 7 members are women. Only 7 members. Means in that, out of 7 members, let me say, in that 7 members, 50% of women are not even interested in doing business. They are not, due to the necessity, they are coming as to the business, not as an aspiration. Aspiration, they are not coming. And it is the update of 2020. So it is not only that women are lacking only because of the environment or surrounding things, but also the inner side of their thinking also should be changed, so that they have to come up. Today, when I spoke to one of the lady who is an entrepreneur and she is an organic cosmetic business owner, and she was saying that why can't you trade it to international level, and it was a very nice, because I have tried the product. This was very nice. No, I don't feel that I want to go up much more. I am okay with that. It's not like that. Every woman should have an aspiration, inspiration with others, and they have to be like, I want to grow up. I want to be one among the people who made difference in the society. So inside also, the woman mentality also should be changed. It is not why I'm not questioning women, but it is like years and years of training and myths that woman is meant for the house and men are meant for the jobs. It's not like that now in our generation. Without two people working together, the house is not going to be in a stable position. Yeah, because of the increase in the economy, increase in the value of the various products. At when my mother, my grandmother, for 3 rupees you can get uh, every food at that means like for 1 week. Now it is not like that. Everything has changed. So my woman mentality also have to change, that they have to think high and they think things should be they worth it. And in globally, the India ranks about third in gender gap. Means that is so much. Means out of so many things we can rank more, but in globally we are ranking third in gender gap. I I have to clearly say that there are various things. It is not only about women empowerment or women entrepreneurship. It is also about male empowerment. Male also should be empowered, because you have sisters, you have mother, you have wife, you have so many ladies around you. You have to encourage them. Without that, it is not possible. So, woman, not only woman mentality, but also men mentality also have to change, so that they encourage. I have seen an example that mm, after marriage, she was very ambitious lady, and I was surprised that she was only in the home. Why are you like that? You are very ambitious. No, my husband doesn't like it. He want me to be in the home. See, one person mindset has been dependent on other person mindset. So a family is a unit and you should be working together. So family should help, especially it was said by CEO of Facebook that the your marriage will determine your entrepreneurship activity. Means the person you marry is very much, very carefully you have to marry, whether he will encourage you or not. If not, you will be falling into soup. So the word she told is very much important because there are people, not only there are various narcissistic characters present in the society that will not allow us to grow. Not only women, men also. It can happen also twice, reversely also. That men are not born by women also. So the partner, especially the partner present, should be encouraging. So why it is very important for entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurship is like it is giving empowerment. Why empowerment? It is like a decision making. When you are doing an entrepreneur, you are doing a job, you are a decision maker. It will help you to give a lead management. Like you can be like a leader and you are having the grip over what the things you are doing and it develops the skill in production and it is a personal leadership and it has greater independence. Women or men should have independence to do what they really like. So when there are no financial independence, you will be lacking in personally also. And entrepreneurship is not only about the leadership qualities. At the end of the day, money is very much important. And so many things are dependent on money. So when you are financially independent, you are confident inside you and you will be growing your children and family members around you to be confident. Confident is like contagious. You spread the confidence, others will be like the confidence will be increasing much more. So out of that, I just want to say a few things. When few women are interviewed, this is a stats that was taken interview. They were asked why you are lagging behind. They all want to become an entrepreneur, but why they are lagging behind? Because of gender bias. Because over 70% of total finances requirement for the women entrepreneurship are unmet in 2019. Means when they are going for loans, they are not given loans for because and financially getting low is one of the second cause of an business failure around the world. So when there is no money for investment, how can they get into entrepreneurship? So we have to give them. And I have to tell about the ladies, especially father and mother. They should why to spend lakhs and lakhs on marriage rather than educating the woman. So I think I feel that it is a one day job of uh, like some movies where like Rajnikant movie spending better ones. So no, marriage can be done even in register or don't spend money mostly like that on the marriages. Give them for the uh, like for education. We don't know what happens later. About you would have seen in COVID period the divorce rates have been increased. I'm not saying negativity here, but it is the facts that are happening here. The more the divorce rates are in the woman who is not employed, she's totally dependent on the father again. So again, going back to the same thing where the money is gone and she's again not dependent on someone. So to be independent, she have to stand on her own legs and be an entrepreneur and a boss. So here the mentality of the parents also should be changed to keep the money for the education of the woman. And another thing, today's entrepreneurial activity rate compared to the males has fallen to 79 to 62% from 2018 to 2019, as per IWWA reports, GA reports. Means that is like, yes, in every way, woman is getting low. Why? Because of various reasons that I have to tell you. That is various reasons. First thing, everyone knows India is a male-dominated society, and you have to agree with. There is male chauvinism present. So when there is a male chauvinism present, gender bias is always there, and lack of social and institutional support from mother. Parents are ready to invest on marriage rather than investing on their education. It's not like that for the male. And poor funding, especially I have told about the loans. They are not giving loans. 70% are unmet. And traditional gender bias. A woman is meant to go and cook. Why man should not cook or what? I don't think so. But everyone should cook. They have to learn. That's a skill. Actually, it is not a gender thing. And limited mobility. Initially, I have also faced it. Because of what? Because of number of rape conditions in India. How many rapes are there? Percentage of rapes are higher in India, and the security is low. So why we are scared of? We are scared of man because man only can rape. So we are scared of men. So mindset have to be changed to give a woman independence, not only financially, but giving a security issues. If it is a thing, the girl who is front of you is like a family member, then you will not get a thought of doing harm to any child or any woman. And other thing is lack of education. Women in rural areas are not given education, and after 10th class, after 10th class, are they married immediately. Now, luckily the marriage age has increased by the government. And another thing is like limited industrial knowledge, STEM responsibilities we tell, that is science, technologies, engineering, and mathematics. I am a science student. I am a doctor. To go into a cosmetic field, it has been very difficult for me to be that. Really, I'm saying it's very difficult for me because I am not an engineer, I am not an IT person, and very much I have to learn knowledge. I am lucky enough that there are people who have supported me to give me adequate knowledge and that have told me that you have to learn this one and learn that one. I alone didn't come. There are multiple men behind me, multiple women behind me who have shared their knowledge. Yes, I failed in few things and I learned my experience is a knowledge. But knowledge, without knowledge, you cannot go into entrepreneurship. So everyone should be educated. Find out what is the part of their interest and get the education provided. And it is not only me who is telling that. There is a person whose name is, she's an CEO, Kamnat Sahni. She's a 40 years old lady and she's a cookery event she does, and she's a registered micro entrepreneur's business. And according to her words, my vision was food shows and it would be a big thing. I quit my job to pursue my dream from basement of my home. She managed to take the team of 10 and turn that into 1 crore turnover only by cookery. And but end of the words, what she told is that it is not easy journey for me because knowledge is very much important. So grab the knowledge. If you really want to know the knowledge, you have to grab the knowledge. You have to go learn. And being a science student, I am learning mathematics, I am learning accounts, I am learning different things. You should not limit yourself to one thing. Yeah, I am a science student. Why I will be there? Why I can't do that? No. If another lady is doing or other gent is doing, you can also do it. So learn knowledge, gain knowledge. The more you gain knowledge, the more good entrepreneur you are. And another last thing I am coming, To deal with the economic crisis caused by this pandemic, the government has announced relief measures. Yes, government has released for MSME 2020, but they have not specified few things, not specific measures to help women entrepreneurs. They have missed this. So, especially this was led to 73% of business, women business to are hit so hard, and 20% of women businesses have closed in 2020 October. So one should, it is not only women alone, but also the society is responsible, but the initiation should come from women and her family members especially, and her spouse, and the urge to learn the knowledge so that we can grow. We cannot blame the society every time. We should be seeing ourselves first, whether we are interested in learning, and we can do that. There are many women who have, there are examples who have done different things when their generation have not yet done. It is our responsibility to grow up. So gathering knowledge is about ourselves to do and learn it, experience it, and each individual, whoever does it, as whole, India will be growing in women entrepreneurship. Thank you so much.
That was actually a very intellectual speech from me. I have to like praise you for that, especially the points that you mentioned that Indian parents are not investing in their child's education and business ideas. Rather, they are ready to invest 10 to 12 lakhs in their marriage. That's actually very valid. In fact, the second one to that, the knowledge in the rural area, that's where like, the growth actually begins. That's so valid. However, I have two to three questions. Being an entrepreneur in the cosmetics industry and a doctor at the very same time, how many like what do you think the cosmetics industry is basically growing? How much percentage of women entrepreneurs are down in that industry, especially?
Most of the women entrepreneurs, means cosmetic entrepreneurs, are women, to be fact. Maybe I don't know why is that, because I feel that ladies like so much of cosmetics like me. So I enjoy having cosmetics. There is nothing wrong in that. So and men are comparatively low. And why I have come into cosmetics is that I have faced my personal challenge of severe acne, and I have taken cosmetics as my thing because I want every woman to be confident enough, because your appearance also will make so much of difference in your mind. Believe me, I have been in that position. And again, in that, my cosmetics, organic and vegan, I have divided into organic and vegan because of I don't want to harm the body. So most of the cosmetics, which parabens and the sulfates which are there, I think that is very much harmful to the body. So I have taken in a specific thing to that and giving my medical knowledge to the cosmetics. So I am doing that.
Just a second question, to be very frank. When you said that parents are ready to invest in a girl's marriage rather than investing into her education, what do you think would be the most probable and the best solution for this problem actually? I mean, how could we exactly change the parents' mindset there at that point?
Don't listen to society. First thing is that there are multiple advisors around you. Pride of making my child high, pride of the, where the pride comes, there the destruction comes. So when you want to be so much pride, there are the rational things. When the emotion comes, the logic inside the body of the human will be gone when you are emotional. So here the emotions are acting more. I want to make my child the highest, do whatever. Yeah, you can enjoy the marriage, but don't cost that you will be like in depths or like that. In fact, if you are educating your child and doing it at the same time, it's okay according to your financial things. Okay. But without educating your child and keeping it into the marriage, how is it useful? No, not at all useful. It is about the mindset of the family that should be changed. And one should rebel against it. And in our society, you should not rebel against your family members. You should not rebel against your adults. Please, I'm really sorry to say that everyone is different in their mindset. And it is each mentality, each mindset should be expressed, even though it is parents, husband, or anyone. This is wrong means that is wrong. Don't use emotional when it comes to finance. Use logic when it comes to finance. Then it will be useful.
That's actually a valid point, Ramya. Now, I would like to invite all the audience to put forward their questions to Ramya, if you have got any. Richa, Archal, Anju. Any questions?
Good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. Hi, ma'am. I just had one question for you. When you were embarking your journey as an entrepreneur for your cosmetic brand, did you find any difficulties apart from the ones that are common between the male entrepreneurs and the female entrepreneurs? Did you find anything that was particularly different in your area and when you were building your brand? Any
Yes,
challenges?
yeah, so many challenges, to be frank. Yeah, the first thing is that I have lack of knowledge, how to approach. So nobody taught me how to approach. So I used to do researches myself, and I used to ask many people, "Is this correct? Is this right?" They used to see me mad. Okay, let them see me mad. Okay, I'm mad. Okay, finally I got my answer. I got my answer now. So I used to ask so many questions because I don't know. These are the basic questions for them. But my basic questions for medicine, no, others cannot answer. But it is that I have to learn that. So I have learned how to go, and even now also I am learning. There are many things I am learning, but approach the right person, not blah 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 person. No, who is having half knowledge. Half knowledge is more disastrous than not having any knowledge at all. So see that you are having legally also you are confident. Why I am saying about legal? You should, when any business you are taking, you should be having a legal advisor. Let me be very frank, very frank. You should be having a legal advisor. Why? It is because there are many rules in our government and you cannot learn everything. So get a person employed as a legal advisor and do it. And let me tell you example. It's an example of Ford, Ford cars. So when he was asked, you told that you know everything. So can I ask you the questions? When the judge asked, and he told, I employ people who have the knowledge more than me. So I am not telling to employ now. But keep the people of knowledge beside you. That is very much important. The more knowledge than you, the person, the more successful you are. That's what.
That's the point, Ramya, actually. That's the reason consultants are present in the industry. Exactly. Okay. Now, if anyone else has got any queries? Okay. I would like to thank Dr. Nalli Ramya for her amazing speech. Actually, it was very intellectual and informative. We covered multiple points that even in my mind somewhere but never come in there. Thank you for your amazing speech. Now, I would like to invite Professor Aparna Singh from Mahindra University of Law, School of Law, to commence her speech. Thank you. Aparna, you're not audible. If you could just switch on your webcam and yeah, perfect.
I hope I'm audible. Good evening, one and all here. Thanks, Robert, for your kind invitation and wonderful introduction. Thank you so much to my previous co-speakers who have already shared a lot, and a lot of intriguing and informative aspects have already been discussed. I feel delighted to share my views on the emerging role of women entrepreneurship in the global economic growth. I'll begin with the brief discussion on the connotation and the types of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is basically a visualization or see the execution of the novel ideas by the observant people who are able to use data and organize those resources to carry out their vision. Vision and mission are two important aspects of entrepreneurship. The ability, that is knowledge and skills of a person to turn their ideas for starting a business unit into reality by establishing a business on site to meet the demands of society and the country in the hopes of making money is essentially entrepreneurship. A very renowned American economist, William Baumers, gave a very precise definition for entrepreneurship, and he stated that entrepreneurship includes all kinds of opportunity seeking behavior. In his own words, he said it is basically the encompassment, for instance, political rent seeking and the organized aspects and ideas. Entrepreneurship is an economic activity done to create, develop, and maintain a profit-oriented business. It begins with identifying an opportunity as a potential to sell and make profit in the market. It is basically the best utilization of available resources. Entrepreneurship is highly based on risk, and there are different categorization of the entrepreneurship. When we talk about entrepreneurship, there are different categorization, and it has been cataloged into several ways.
Aparna, you're not audible. If you could just
Am I audible now?
perfect.
Yeah. So the categorization of entrepreneurship is based on risk. It is based on the size of the business. It is based on the type of business. It is based on use of technology, ownership, enterprise, and many other. And the one which is the theme of today's conference is the women entrepreneurship. So based on the gender women entrepreneurship, the government of India has also defined women entrepreneurship, where it is stated that a business enterprise which is owned, managed, and controlled by women having a minimum financial interest of 51% of the capital and giving at least 51% of employment generated in the enterprise to women is essentially the women entrepreneurship. It is basically based on the women's participation in equity and employment of a business enterprise. Women entrepreneurs may be defined as a women or a group of women who initiate, organize, and operate a business enterprise. A women entrepreneur is therefore a confident, creative, and innovative woman who desires the economic independence individually and simultaneously creates employment opportunities for the others. Our European Commission has published a best project, and there they define that the female entrepreneur are those women who have created a business in which she has a majority shareholding and who takes an active interest in the decision-making, risk-taking, and day-to-day management. As already discussed by the previous speakers, that there are several hurdles and obstacles in the life of a woman to start or to begin with the entrepreneurship. The typical women businesses which comes in our mind are mainly the extension of kitchen activities. That is basically the 3 Ps. That is pickles, powders. Powders essentially means the spices powders and papas and other home products. However, owing to the various governmental schemes and the efforts of numerous voluntary organizations, the number of women entrepreneurs is growing gradually. Considering the trend, their proportion is coming to rise up to almost 20% number of women entrepreneurs in the last 5 years. With the spread of education and awareness, women entrepreneurs have shifted from the extended kitchen activities, that is 3Ps, to the higher level of activities like the 3Es, 3Fs. 3Es means like in engineering, electronics, and energies. 3Fs essentially provides for fashion industries, fintech, and food industries. Although the number of such units is not large, nonetheless, it can be noted that women are putting up units to manufacture solar cookers, small foundries, TV capacitors, and electronic ancillaries. It really seems noteworthy to mention that some of the successful and accomplished women entrepreneurs in the country like Sumti Murarchi of Shipping Corporation, Yamutai Kirloskar of Mahila Udyog Limited, and many others. And to name a few more, like Shahnaz Hussain in Beauty Clinic Cosmetics, stand as a beacon to women entrepreneurs. Since the inception of the National Awards to Small Entrepreneurs instituted in 1983, around 10 women entrepreneurs have received special recognition awards. They attributed their success to their untiring hard work, perseverance, tenaciousness, determination, confidence in them, and most importantly, their compelling urge of wanting to do something productive in their lives. Women entrepreneurs have several qualities like perseverance, hard work, patience, optimism, intelligence, and many others. From pharmaceutical to designing to food industries and many others, women entrepreneurs are spreading across the sectors. The role of women at the workplace has undergone a drastic change in the last 50 years. Just as the view of entrepreneurships over the centuries, few decades ago, there were only a few women who owned and operated their own businesses. However, after the Second World War, many women came into the workforce and they have accepted social values as of course, India being a patriarchal nation, having the patriarchal society, the male being the head or say karta of the house, and women being dependent and staying indoors did not create an environment, and this didn't create any environment which is conducive for women to work unless there was a necessity. Till the time necessity is not there, women were just supposed to do the household works and household chores. So, since due to the progression, the women entrepreneurs have started emerging. Women have tried to shed their traditional mold. Also, there have been significant changes in the society, politics, and economy, and that have created opportunities for women as well as they have given them greater acceptance and recognition in the corporate world. Government has also put several initiatives to include women as in the entrepreneurship and have included the group of women who wanted to initiate, organize, and operate a business enterprise. Slowly, women are making their mark as businesswomen and giving their male counterparts a run for their money. Women entrepreneurs have been on the Indian business scene for quite some time now and have achieved remarkable success in a very short span of time. However, they are facing obstacles on day-to-day basis. I would also like to discuss few of the obstacles which are faced by women entrepreneurs or say any woman who is even working. The first obstacle is the stereotypes on the capabilities, because women have historically been viewed as the weaker gender, weaker sex, who are actually in the need of protection and is categorized as the vulnerable segment of the society. They are generally considered as opposed to men who have traditionally been characterized as protectors and defenders, because Our ancient as well as our family laws and personal laws also provides that males are the karta of the family. So it cannot be denied that men and women are physiologically different. And even if an average man is physically stronger than an average woman, but it doesn't justify assuming every woman is physically fragile. Even if the woman is physically fragile, it doesn't mean that she can't do well in entrepreneurship or in the other sectors. Using biological aspects to access cerebral capacities is also one of the obstacles which is faced by women. One long-standing perception has been that men are wired to be more logical. However, women are more empathetic. They are more sympathetic and empathetic. So they can't think logically. They are less justified in their thought process. However, the progression which the women have shown is entirely different. This argument somehow seems very redundant in today's era, because it doesn't make any sense when it is used to bar women from entering certain fields. Even these days, women are prohibited from entering into some of the fields. However, the gradual progression and the government initiatives and the women empowerment is making all the significant changes. Patriarchal construct and familial constraint is also one of the another obstacle which is faced by women. Even though numerous women have the potential as well as the ambition to make it to the top in the realm, however, they are often denied their dreams by the patriarchal edifice of the society. The underlying biases and concerns that how their daughter-in-laws, wives, and others would sustain themselves in a grave male-inclined society. This phenomenon has somehow resulted into a feminine drought, because of which the gender imbalances can be lucidly witnessed. Constraints related to funds is also one another aspect which a women entrepreneur face. It is not something which is very exceptional to hear that the women entrepreneurs are generally denied to get the funds or say sponsorships. A lot of people have reservations about the women's capabilities, that when it comes to the finance and the business sector or entrepreneurship, a male-dominated area will have a more logical ground. At the same time, it is also considered that there are very few female mentors. With fewer female business founders, the pool of women, or say the sector of women, has been very reduced, and women can't seek help from the women themselves, because there are very few women who are who have the enterprises or who are involved in the entrepreneurship. So it is harder, it is difficult for the women to maximize the value of their business network. At the same time, the government these days are providing several funds. Even we had, like few days back, India has also started the reality show for the entrepreneurship. Shark Tank was one of those. I'm sure all of us have seen Shark Tank, where women entrepreneurs have seriously promoted a lot. And many of the judges were actually looking for the women entrepreneurs, and they were fostering them. They were actually trying to cultivate their ideas at a very greater scale. So, of course, women empowerment is being done at a very greater scale. Now, coming to my last part of this speech, that is the economy. So, women are generally considered as fragile, though physiologically and in many other aspects. But at the same time, Indian economy has grown steadily over the last decade because of the parallel surge in the number of startups and new businesses in the country because of the women. Even during COVID-19 era, what happened was that women started doing entrepreneurship from their home. And that is why they were called as homepreneurs. They started doing they started several startups. They started doing online businesses, like even a few of the coaching classes and the competitive coaching classes have been started by women themselves. The Indian economy has grown steadily over the last decades because of the emergence of the female entrepreneurship. Though majority of the enterprises, majority of startups have been founded by men. However, Indian women have also ambitions towards the entrepreneurship, and it is more, though it is more often more difficult for them to succeed. However, India has been found to be in a group of countries where women business owners struggle with less favorable conditions. They have their own cultural biases. They have lack of business environment, ecosystem, and the resources like the capital training, the development, and the finances. The society where women cannot realize their full potential somehow loses out the significant potential for innovation, economic growth, and job creation. Few of the studies have showed that in India, measures to close the gender gap has led to 6.8% gain in GDP, which is a substantial amount in the increase of GDP. Few other studies have estimated that due to the advancement of the women equality in India can boost its GDP by $0.7 trillion by 2025. That is around 16% of the total GDP. The issues briefly seeks to provide a comprehensive overview of the situation of women entrepreneurs in India. It gathers information on the share of businesses that are started by...
Excuse me.
Yes.
Bit out of time. We just wrap it up soon.
All right. Yeah. So the one thing that sets apart a woman is how effortlessly she plays multiplicity of roles, from a homemaker, mother, wife to a working professional. Entrepreneurial development has ignited the process of progress largely worldwide. The different enterprises, the different initiatives have been started by the women to start the startups. Different laws are also there for the women to get acquainted and start the entrepreneurship, like the Maternity Benefit Act, Equal Pay and Equal Act, and many others. So, as already discussed by my previous speakers, that before for a women entrepreneur, it is more important to get acquainted with all the laws. And of course, women are contributing significantly to uplift economic and social conditions, and of course still there is a long way ahead to ensure an environment that provides equal platform and opportunity, so that India by next 4-5 years could add billions of dollars to its GDP. Thank you so much.
Actually, that was quite an informative speech, Aparna. However, I have 2-3 questions to you.
Sure.
Being a PhD scholar, as far as being a PhD scholar, as far as I have heard, PhD is a degree where people actually write a thesis. Thesis is something innovative that comes into this world, right? And entrepreneurship is completely based on the concept of innovation in business in the form of product or service. So do you think that doing a PhD or empowering women to do PhD and become scholars after that would actually lead to them becoming entrepreneurs too, in a way, because both of these are related to innovation? Any concept discovered by a woman in a PhD thesis could actually be converted into a business enterprise only?
Yes. So, of course, I agree with your statement that PhD also involves several innovative ideas, because thesis can't be written without having the novelty in it. So is what entrepreneurship talks about. So, of course, PhD thesis helps a lot in building an edifice for the entrepreneurship. Suppose one is doing their PhD in management aspect, or say there is some economy aspect or have some business ideas in their thesis, can actually they can do study, they can do research and surveys, and they can actually find the loopholes and lacunas over those themes, and can think of building some startup on the same. So PhD of course will be very helpful for starting any startups or the entrepreneurships.
That's actually an informative thing for the audience. Secondly, Aparna, I had this question. It's like we all have always come across this quote. If you educate a man, you educate, like a single individual. But when you educate a woman, you educate an entire family. Would you like to elaborate that?
Sorry, pardon?
We have often come across this quote that when you educate a man, you educate a single individual. But when you educate a woman, you educate an entire family. Like you could retrospect on the same?
Educating a woman is something like, even if I'll talk about the law. So suppose being a law professor, of course, when you teach law can't be taught for the first thing. It can't be taught. Rather, it's an expression. I will say law is more about an emotion. It's the social aspect which a person can cultivate by the time. With the law, by studying law, a person can have different startup ideas. Suppose I'm teaching a female student, or say anyone, they can have different ideas while studying law, and they can derive any idea. They can do several research and surveys over that, whether there is any startup or there is any business idea in that particular theme or not. Is there something which has already been started or not? Like in law, there is the moot court. So for moot court, there are few of the startups which have been started by the law students themselves, where the memorial drafting and the moot trainings are done. So these kind of startups actually help the students to learn, or say to get trained very efficiently and smoothly. So by teaching law, or say by teaching any of the management or any other subject, the business ideas could be brought up. I hope I'm able to answer you, Shravan.
Yeah, actually that was perfect, Aparna. Now, I would like to invite all the attendees to put forward their questions to Aparna if you have got any. Amulya, Renu, Usama, Mr. Hassan, any questions out here? Yeah, Amulya.
No. I mean, I can show a big slide for it.
I would like to ask.
Yes, Renu, please go ahead.
Actually, post our studies, post our academic pursuits, we often tend to, incline towards social things in our life more than the, getting an academic excellence forward. So, what do you suggest? Should we, pursue our dreams first? Regarding our career prospects, or should get indulged in the social things, so that it's time, the family says it's time, so get married and get have your family, like these things. Do you think that these things justify? Because I believe in getting myself comfortable, so that I can be financially independent as well as emotionally independent too.
Yes. Yeah. So you have answered your question yourself. So the first thing which I'll suggest to everyone, and which I of course incorporate for myself as well, that you have to decide your priority. You have to prioritize things, whether you want to give all your focus on studies, or you want to get involved in the social activities, you want to get linked with some NGOs, or you have some ideas to start your business. Because I have seen many of the students, even few of my batchmates and my friends, have begun with their startups during their college days itself. So you have to prioritize whether you want to go for some government services, corporate services, you want to get yourself involved in the business activities, or you want to get married, as you said, or you want to have the financial and emotional independence at the first. For that, you have to prioritize what you want to do, because of course you can't manage 2-3 things at a time. Only because with the academics itself, you also manage co-curricular activities, which is of course non-academic, however, however integral for the academic activities as well.
Yeah.
I hope I'm able to answer your question, Renu.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. Actually, the thing is, but when we start a business, when we think of a idea, but we don't have a skill. So, what do you think we should do?
I can't hear you, Renu.
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, Amolya.
Ma'am, I have a question. Ma'am, what advice would you like to give young women who want to become an entrepreneur?
Firstly, to develop or say to have a business idea. Because for being a woman entrepreneur, or say any entrepreneur, not about women or men, you should have a business idea. And that business idea should have a novelty in it. Because for visualizing any business idea, you have to see who are your competitors. Because once you will start with your startup, once you will start with your business ideas, how many competitors are there? What novel aspect you have in your business idea or in your idea? Is it something which will make you very different, like sugar cosmetics? Sugar cosmetics is not something that it wasn't prevalent or it wasn't existent in India. However, there are several cosmetic brands. However, Sugar has launched its product with a different vision and mission. And if we see today, of course, Vanita Singh, a very well-known or renowned women entrepreneur, she's a very well-known entrepreneur, and Sugar brand has become quite a famous brand for today. So of course you have to see, even if you are going through the same business, you have the same idea, what novelty you have. Do you have novelty in its packaging? You have novelty in some other aspects. So you have to be very clear and lucid in your conception. Thereafter, you can look for the investors and many other aspects.
Actually, that's a notable point. So if none of you have got any more queries, we might wrap up the session.
Can I say one thing, ma'am? Ma'am, when we do, when we go for a PhD, so can we, adopt our thesis idea to a startup if it is feasible enough?
Okay. Can you please repeat your question, Renu?
Ma'am, I was saying that if our thesis idea is feasible, there's a scope. Yes, it can be accessible to many people, and we can reach to our customers. So can it be possible that we can work on it so that it can turn into a business plan?
Okay, thesis idea, right?
Yeah.
So of course your thesis is your novelty.
Yeah.
It's your novelty. What you are doing in your thesis is your idea. Of course, you can't, you can't originate the idea. You will borrow the idea. However, the conceptions which you will incorporate in that should be novel. That shouldn't be used somewhere. Suppose you are taking any business, you are writing a business thesis, or say law, or say any other sector. In engineering, even if you are writing the thesis, of course, your thesis is the preface, or I'll say it's the preliminary stage of your research. Because for developing a business idea, you need to research upon that very frequently and simultaneously you have to look whether this business idea is going to work or not. You can go for the empirical research where you can conduct the surveys, you can prepare the questionnaires, you can go for the field visit to see whether this research idea which you are planning to develop into the business idea is viable for the society or not. How much cooperation you are getting for that idea from the society, from the people at large.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
That's a valuable point, Aparna. I would like to thank Ms. Aparna Singh for an amazing and beautiful speech. Actually, it was very intellectual and informative, covered many aspects which other speakers were not able to ponder upon. Now, I would like to wrap up this session by thanking all our speakers as well as all the attendees for patiently watching us through this 1.5 hours. We actually crossed the timeline. We would come back tomorrow again with the second session of Conference 1.1 on evolving role of women entrepreneurs in global economic growth. Until then, stay tuned. Have fun. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.